welcome to East Coast DNA. It's Darcy Walsh back here again, and I've brought some of my new friends I found in Moncton. Ironically, we actually have people in Nova Scotia that I met in Moncton, but it worked out very convenient. So Les Moontunes is the band, but maybe I'll get you each to introduce yourself, Monica and Mig. Yeah, but I'll get you each to do a quick little intro. Monica, if you want to just...
Yeah, sure. So my name is Monica Ouellette. I play the trumpet and the bass in the band. And I'm currently living in Halifax, taking the music arts program at NSCC, which is why I'm around.
Yes, and I glommed onto you right away after I saw the performance you guys did at your showcase.
Yeah.
Because of the brass. You had somebody, Emily, that was playing.
Richard, yeah. She was filling in
sax.
for our sax player Jeremy, who couldn't make it. He's based in Montreal right now, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought she was doing overtime networking after the show, which was funny. So
we don't. It's not that we don't have brass around Nova Scotia. We definitely do, but I don't get to see it too much in that format. And there's some bands locally to Pictou County that historically have had some of that incorporated and don't necessarily these days. So I was very excited to maybe make some connections. So I'll mention it to you before you leave here too, the people I'm talking about, just in case you want to network a little bit on the side.
Yeah, talk brass with them.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome.
And you are traveling through Nova Scotia today, but are you based in Halifax?
Yeah, based in Halifax, from around Moncton in New Brunswick. We're all from there actually, but I was traveling towards Antigonish, so figured I'd stop by.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And Mig?
My name is Miguel, and I play piano and sing. And I'm currently living in Antigonish, doing some school there at CNFX.
Oh, that was going to be my follow-up question is why Antigonish? I mean, it's a beautiful place, but I was just curious. Yeah.
Currently living what is called Kepik Mountain, which is 20-minute drive-ish.
Yeah.
Quite a rural space, and very nice though. See a lot of deers and stuff like that. And
this is probably like right now. I mean, maybe people from the region would argue and say the spring, but I think right now is probably the perfect time of year to be in that area too, like with the trees changing and
it's very pretty.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I guess I'll start with you with a couple extra little deeper questions. So the band, I had actually heard of you quite a few times. Your name's popped up, as I'm sure you're aware, over the last couple of years, and quite a variety of articles as kind of an up-and-coming band. I think maybe 2021 you won Video of the Year at Music New Brunswick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was very excited to get to see you live with your showcase. But one thing that I know with your music too, you guys are you have a wide variety of what you do. Like I'd already mentioned that there's brass and you're mentioning keyboards.
Yeah.
And then you have all your traditional rock band elements. So you have a massive lineup for a band.
yeah.
But and I apologize for not being overly familiar with the history of your catalog, but have you guys been shifting into a heavier sound based on the new single you announced?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a little bit heavier for sure. Plus, we worked with a great producer, Mike Trask, who kind of helped us kind of define our style more, I guess you could say, like make it more potent. I don't know. Yeah, something like that. Which is very fun. So
giving me vibes of like King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard, Australia there, and more so the fact that the variety, because they'll put an album out that's more traditionally like some of your older content, and funny enough, some of their video content is similar to the video where you won the award.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you're mimicking them at all. I think I heard of you first, so
they're mimicking us.
Yeah. So those elements of influence from each individual member of the band obviously is where the unique sound's coming from. But what was the original formation of the band? Like, was it you and Monica, or
It was we started jamming pretty much. Me and Marty, the drummer, one of the drummers, and then Sam joined us, and then Jer joined us on with saxophone. Well, I played bass, and then there was a lot of bassists, so he took up the sax. Just as Monica played bass and took up the trumpet to be able to, do jam sessions and stuff like that. And then we eventually I met a guy in Hamilton. He was a rapper, and he came down and joined our jam sessions, and then just booked us a gig pretty much. And so we had to get our shit together, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't have any songs. Like,
no,
we started off like Miguel was explaining, like we were just all friends who kind of met each other and figured out that we enjoyed playing music at all different points. Like I think you and Marty was like 4th grade they started playing music. Like it's way back that like the roots, if you want to go that far, you can go there. And then when Elijah, who was on our first album, who did some rap on the album, when he came down to Moncton, New Brunswick, we were all tripping out because we had never jammed with a rapper before, and he had never really done a lot of like live band as well, like playing with a band that backed him. So I think we all got really excited, and he was like, we got a show in 2 months, and we hadn't really like written out any songs at that point. We just really enjoyed just jamming, improvising, and hanging out was just playing music. And then so we had, like Miguel said, we had to get our shit together and find a band name and all that. So that's where like the start of it, I guess, was to shift from like not just play for ourselves, but start releasing songs and putting it out there, kind of thing.
Where did the name come from?
From having to play a show. I remember that last practice we had before our first show, we still didn't have a band name, and there wasn't anyone that had like a big inspiration necessarily that was like, I think we should really, be called this name. So we told ourselves we have to figure out a name before we start jamming. Like we have to lay this down because it's important. We can't go out and play a show without a band name. And then we just started playing instead. And so like we had a bit of a brainstorm at the end, like really at the last minute, and it was just throwing stuff on a board and seeing whichever one we enjoyed the most. And I think at the end, like I don't remember a lot of the other names that were in the running, but I know that we wanted something that reflected the fact that we're francophone, like we're all Acadians, and so the les is like the in French, and the Moontunes just felt like something spacey, something fun, like kind of rolled off the tongue a little bit. So that's the one that was the less shitty, I guess.
Kudos on the outfits that you had out. I do see that you had them for the music video previously, but when you were out on stage and the lighting, definitely I have to give some props to whoever was doing the lighting
Nathan
at that
Fillmore.
show. It was really, really
true
good.
rock star on the lights,
But there was that atmosphere with the lighting and the outfits and the fact that you take over the entire stage with numbers. It really kind of took the audience like out of the room. Like it felt like I was completely immersed in the performance. Nice. It was a really cool experience. I really enjoyed that.
Awesome. Thank you.
So if you don't mind, I'm curious, how many people are actually in the band? Is it like 7 or 8?
We're officially 7 right now.
Is that an unofficial cap on bands? Because every time I interview a large band, it's like, well, we have 7 right now.
Yeah.
It's always 7 right now.
Yeah. Yeah, we have it's like a contract with all musicians. We can't go further than 7.
Yeah, union rules.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're 7. We have two drummers right now, so Martin and Goldfish, whose real name is Marc-André, but we'll call him Goldfish, he was the drummer who was there at the showcase there. Martin couldn't be there. He's also based in Montreal. We have Sam, who plays the guitar and the bass. We have Pat, also guitar and bass. And then Jeremy, who wasn't there, who plays the sax, and he plays some bass, some synth sometime as well. And then us 2. I think I named everyone.
And Pat.
Pat wasn't there. Yeah, those were Got him. So those are all the members.
Nobody's going to be insulted.
Yeah. I always get scared when people ask me who's in the band because I'm like, shit, I'm gonna forget someone at some point.
Well, it would be difficult.
I'm gonna buy them a nice lunch if that happens.
Now, I definitely have some questions related to the fact. Well, one, I would love to know a little bit more about how you can even survive as a band with that many members, but we won't get into finances on this. So I do already pick up on the fact that you have multiple members that you have to interchange because of the geographic location where you have people in Montreal and Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. But that kind of also gives you an interesting opportunity, and I don't know how that works specifically for you as a band. I'm just thinking, if I were managing a band and looking for opportunities, the fact that you're a bilingual band, mm-hmm. So that gives you a little bit of an upper hand on if you're trying to go into another market. But I have been unofficially polling a lot of musicians on both sides, and a lot of the Anglophone bands have a hard time breaking into a French market.
Right.
And vice versa. But I am curious, like, how many people are actually trying? Is it just the appearance? Is there an illusion that there's a barrier? Now, you are actually a bilingual band that has mm-hmm. access to Nova Scotia, which is primarily English speaking, mm-hmm. and Quebec, which is primarily French. Mm-hmm. And you're in the primarily bilingual area. So do you have as hard of a transition? Like, I know of you mostly through New Brunswick media and maybe some publications from further west that put spotlights on things happening down here. Mm-hmm. But I don't know of you as much in Nova Scotia, despite the fact that you're sitting here in Glasgow right now.
Yeah.
So is it harder to break into this market?
I think there's like pros and cons. Like I think you're right on the money with that, where it's like we do have like the whole like Acadian appeal. I think in like markets like Quebec and even in France, there's a lot of Acadian artists that like are able to pursue music over there and opportunities over there because of, you know, the work that's being done to keep that culture alive and mm-hmm. stuff. But we do sing in English, so that's where like we had our first, like, I feel like our first, like, I guess market that was developed was more in like Fredericton, I feel like, other than like our friends and families in Moncton, you know. Mm-hmm. Like we played a lot at the Cap so far and have developed like we played a lot of shows with like other bands over there that a lot of like even my francophone like friends that are in the music industry too didn't know about, so that was kind of cool for us to be able to kind of double dip a bit. But at the same time, I do feel that sometimes because of that it puts us a bit in a gray zone, like, you know, there's, like I said, it's really good, but at the same time you know, we have the we're taking not really a risk, like it's not actively like, oh no, what's going to happen, but because we don't sing in like Chiac or French specifically, then sometimes I think that can play a bit against us, like for playlists or radio plays for like showcasing Acadian artists, that sometimes like won't work for us. But I do think with just the fact that we're all over the place is good when we're talking to like for example our classmates and stuff over in Nova Scotia.
Going by. It was so faint, it was rolling in very slowly, but we might as well just keep going. I think it's going to just pass, but
we'll roll with it. But I was just saying, like with having different audiences or like colleagues in different regions, like people that our bandmates in Montreal are talking to, and people in Nova Scotia that we got to meet. I think it's good in that sense that we're kind of dipping our toes in different areas of the industry, I guess. Like being able, next week I'm going to Music Nova Scotia mm-hmm. Week, which is like we got the opportunity to go do that because of school, so that's pretty cool. I get to meet a lot of people, and that's things that we couldn't really do if we were just all 7 of us in Moncton, I think. So there are some pros and cons for sure.
Is there a school we should be giving a shout out to here? You're both in school, so
NSCC, Ivany Campus. Shout out Jeff Goodspeed. Shout out Tom Easley. Bill Stevenson. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, there's. I'm loving. I just had an interview, which by the time people watch this, it was probably out a week ago, but it's out today if you're driving later.
Yeah.
And we were talking. It was an artist that had started in Halifax, and he's kind of gone the opposite route where he's away. So when we were talking about the origins, it was he originally moved away to take music at school, like the post-secondary education in Toronto, because we didn't have that here back then.
Oh, right.
So it's funny now, like I would say probably like 75-80% of the people that end up on this podcast are actually students in one of the music programs or graduates within the last like 5 years maybe. So it's great time for people that want to get in the industry, but it's great that the people that are also instructing have a lot of seasoned background, like they're actual people that have performed, or they're producers or former managers, like they're all people that have life experience doing it.
Totally.
So are you guys thinking once school, like as a band, is the band thinking that once school commitments and stuff wrap up that you might be doing a little bit more touring? Like, do you have plans to go nationwide? Have you had any performances out west?
We did not out west. No, furthest out west we went was probably Toronto this summer.
Okay.
We did a small tour, a 2-week tour that we started, I think in Halifax, maybe at the Jazz Fest, or we maybe ended there.
That was the end, yeah.
That was the end. Okay,
Started with Fredericton.
And then we went to Montreal and a few places around Quebec province. And went into Ontario.
Yeah.
So that's the furthest we went
so far. Yeah.
Well, I think we're planning some more there. We just got we signed a contract with Bon Sound. This is a label, and for booking, and so they're gonna help us book a lot of stuff like that, because last tour was time we did it, and it was a lot of work for them, and I'm sure like it must have taken them I don't know how long, but how much work it was, but I'm sure it was a lot. So now we can just put more time in the music and practicing instead of doing the booking stuff.
And so for the immediate future, I do know, I mean, it's not really a coincidence because my timing of meeting you was with the conference and the awards, but it's ironic for me that I did know who you were, and I'm just reaching out to you now, and you just announced your new single today.
Yeah, today. It's really exciting to finally get that out, because we've like Miguel said, we've worked with Mike Trask as a producer on that album for the first time working with him, and we've been kind of sitting. We had the album ready for a bit now, and we had been playing some of the songs like at our showcase and during the summer tour that we had. So we're really excited to finally share it like as a single, and the album's coming out in January on the 19th. So people can go listen to that, pre-order it if they like. But yeah, it's really exciting for the immediate future with that. We hope to kind of milk it and get as many opportunities. I mean, even if we're either like in school, or some of the other guys have like full-time jobs, we usually try to make the time to, grab opportunities that are ahead of us. And especially like for school, being in music school, if we go play a show, like our teachers are happy for us. It's not like so that works well for us. But yeah, like Mig was saying, that we're gonna try to get some good shows in the new year, and really kind of go to different places and build on the momentum that we've been having this year. So it's pretty exciting.
And I was already excited that you had a new album coming out, but I will say that when I heard that it was a different sound, it's not that I like it more than what you had, but I'm like, this is really exciting. Like it's something different and good. Like,
we wanted to get heavier. I feel like the more we like jammed after our first album, like we had those songs for a while. We worked on the first album for it took us like 5 years before we put it out. So at that point we were like kind of shifting where we had more of Sam on the guitar. Sam's a big metal guy, and same for Goldfish, one of our drummers who joined the band after the first album was recorded. He's also a big metalhead, so all of us listen to all sorts of different genres and stuff, but we definitely had that itch to go a bit heavier and kind of pay homage to like the like older like heavier bands in the 60s and 70s and stuff like that, while keeping like the brass and the kind of our soul kind of sound into it as well. But.
Do you remember, this is going to kind of like go on a different trail, so I'll just make it quick though. Do you remember a band, and maybe, I don't know your age, maybe you can't remember it. There was a band, Glue Leg. All right, we're talking before you leave.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to get you listen to a couple songs. If any of the members of Glue Leg are still around too, I know there's a couple Montreal listeners here too. Like, reach out to me. I'd love to find out what you guys are up to.
Yeah, are they from Montreal?
Yeah. But they, I think they also had East Coast connections back then because they were floating around here quite a bit. They had a little bit of exposure on Much Music, and I worked record stores back in the day too. So
nice.
Cool.
But they also had that. It was a little bit of a heavier sound than what your older stuff is.
Yeah.
But they also had that kind of jam band type thing going, and then a heavier sound with the brass folded into it, which was really cool. And if anybody that's watching this is like, what's he talking about? Go see if you can find their instrumental version of Spider-Man, which is the instrumental from the background music from the old 60s cartoon.
Okay.
Which, when you hear it, you're like, I can't believe, like, that sounds amazing. But you would never think I'm going to do a cover of this old 60s background music.
That's awesome.
It's phenomenal.
We'll have to check that out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, for your new album, do you direct people to go for pre-saves? Is that what you're doing with the new single?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, we have a pre-save option on Spotify. There's a pre-sale as well going on. So you can pre-order if you want a CD, a vinyl. It gets you access to like 2 bonus tracks, so if you want to buy it in advance, you get the whole start of the album, which is the first, like, you'll get Elephant Wizard, which is the single, and then two mystery songs that are, so that's quite the deal.
I just got paid too. I feel like you went through my episode. You're like, what should I say during the interview to get some money out of his pocket? No, that's awesome. And my follow-up question was actually going to be about physical media, which you have physical media, so that's awesome.
Absolutely, yeah. It's really, we're really happy too. The artwork was done. He's not gonna say what he did. He did the artwork, Miguel.
Really?
On all the artwork, and it's pretty sweet. So we have vinyls coming up. We received our CDs, I think, last week, which was really fun.
Wow.
So it's fun to kind of have done that. Worked on it kind of independently, quite like through and through, so it's fun.
Friends and family know what they're getting for Christmas, then they're getting CDs.
Absolutely, yeah, no gifts, just our CDs. And
CDs with like a QR code to unlock the packaging, so you get a stream of it too, like, so that you get your views.
Yeah.
Just make sure you're getting a little bit of revenue back on it.
Yeah, for sure.
Smart.
Yeah, so where should I tell people to follow you online?
Facebook and Instagram, and that's it, I think.
We got a YouTube channel as well. We got actually, the single came out with a lyric video that, speaking of like homemade stuff, we took some of the artwork that Miguel did, and Martin did like a whole like lyric video out of it. So that's pretty fun to watch if people want to not only listen but kind of have a visual too.
Awesome.
So yeah, we're on Bandcamp, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you stream your music. We have a website too if people are into that.
Yes.
Go on the website. On Bandcamp, we have some merch as well. There are T-shirts from.
I think our viewers are fans of Bandcamp. We talk about Bandcamp all the time, and the people that have been on usually have Bandcamp accounts. So I usually push people there as much as possible. So we'll put links down in the description for everything as well.
Great. Sounds good.
And if you have any tour dates that are coming up, especially on this side, but anywhere around, just feel free to let me know, and we'll either post them through our social media channels or we'll reference it in one of these episodes.
Awesome.
And a little shout out to all the people that were in Moncton last week. It was a great time. Everyone made me feel really at home, and I made lots of new friends.
Yeah.
So I expect a lot of future guests to be coming from that region as well.
Absolutely.
So thank you guys for joining me here today.
Thanks, Darcy.
And
Thank you.
For having us.
What would you like us to play out with as a song?
Let's do Elephant Wizard, eh?
Yeah, probably.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Great. Perfect. All right, everybody. Make sure you don't have the volume up too loud here before we roll out into the end of the episode. But yeah, enjoy this new as of today song and go out there and pre-order their album. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.